The first day at Ridgewood High should have been just another sunrise for the students who rushed through the crowded hallways, but all the ordinary noise, slamming lockers, fast footsteps, fragments of gossip seemed to bend around the arrival of one quiet, mysterious newcomer walking with steady confidence under a soft gray hoodie. Her name was Maya Trent, tiny in frame but sharp in gaze, the kind of student no one noticed and yet couldn't ignore, and as she made her way toward the main office. Clutching her schedule, the school's infamous trio of bullies, Zara, the queen bee with a sharp tongue, her right-hand brute Linc, tall as a lamppost and twice as loud, and Crystal, who lived for drama, sauntered toward her like wolves scenting a new target, brushing past her with a shove so hard her folder hit the floor, papers scattering like startled birds, prompting laughter from passing students who knew better than to interfere. But Maya simply crouched, gathered her things with a controlled, almost meditative breath, and rose without a flicker of fear, which annoyed Zara more than if she had cried. "Watch where you walk, new girl," Zara hissed, stepping into Maya's path, expecting the usual stammering apology, but Maya just looked at her with calm eyes, as if measuring her, as if already 3 steps ahead, and the stare unsettled Zara enough to shove her again, harder, causing Linc to chuckle. "She's light as a feather," and Crystal to add, "probably too weak to handle this school," but Maya only responded with a half-smile, one corner of her mouth lifting in a way that said she had seen worse and survived. Still, she kept walking, leaving the bullies fuming behind her, confused that their intimidation hadn't landed, and by 4th period the whispers had already begun. "The new girl has an attitude." She didn't even flinch. Zara's livid, yet none of the rumors came close to the truth that Maya was not just brave or composed but the reigning 3-time state karate champion, a title she kept quiet on purpose since her father had raised her with the principle that power meant nothing if used without wisdom, though it was getting harder to follow his words as she encountered the trio again during lunch when they cornered her near the vending machines, blocking her exit with mocking smiles. Zara flicked a chip at her shoes, Linc stepped closer until his shadow swallowed hers, and Crystal crossed her arms like a guard at a prison gate, and when Maya remained silent, Zara sneered, "Look at me when I talk to you," trying to tilt Maya's chin upward with a finger, but in a lightning-fast reflex Maya caught Zara's wrist midair, not aggressively, not violently, just firmly enough that Zara gasped at the unexpected strength and released it just as fast, leaving the bully stunned while Linc roared, "Oh, you wanna fight?" and raised his hand as if to grab her shoulder. But that was the moment Maya's instincts sharpened like a blade, and she stepped back with a perfectly balanced stance so subtle no one recognized it except the school's janitor, Mr. Ellis, who had once practiced martial arts and watched from a distance with widening eyes. Still, Maya resisted, remembering her father's teachings, and instead of retaliating she simply gave them a warning, soft, steady, unshaken, "Don't touch me again," which only enraged Linc, who lunged forward but stumbled when Maya shifted barely an inch to the side, letting him crash into the vending machine with a metallic bang that drew a crowd. Whispers rose, phones came out, curiosity thickened, and the bullies scrambled to save face by calling her a freak. But something had changed now. Maya's calm refusal to react had made them look foolish, not powerful, and the rest of lunch passed with a new tension humming through the school as rumors sped faster than sound. She dodged Linc like it was nothing. She moved like a pro. Who is she? By last period gym class, Coach Ramirez, a disciplined former kickboxer, noticed Maya's agility during warm-ups and asked her to demonstrate a standard self-defense form for the class, which she hesitated to do until he said softly, "You don't have to hide what you're good at." And when she finally stepped onto the mat and flowed through the routine with breath precision control, the room fell silent. Students watched stunned, Coach nodded in impressed approval, and even the bullies, hiding near the bleachers, felt a tremor of fear ripple through them. Afterwards Crystal whispered to Zara, "We messed with the wrong girl," but Zara, too prideful to admit defeat, spat back, "I don't care what she knows, she embarrassed us, and she's going to regret it," planting the seed of a confrontation that would soon escalate beyond hallway shoves and sarcastic comments. Meanwhile Maya walked home under a soft sunset, aware that trouble was brewing but refusing to be afraid, because she had learned long ago that bullies only win when you let them. And tomorrow, when the hallway crowd gathered again, when Zara and her crew made their next move, when whispers grew into a roaring story, Maya would be ready, though the bullies had no idea that the quiet girl they brushed aside was not simply skilled, not simply tough, but a state champion trained not to seek violence yet fully capable of ending it in a heartbeat. And the moment they pushed her too far, the entire school would discover just how powerful the new girl truly was. The next morning at Ridgewood High felt strangely charged, as if the hallways themselves were buzzing with rumors waiting to explode, because overnight the videos of Maya dodging Linc's shove had spread across group chats like wildfire, and by the time she walked through the front doors, dozens of eyes followed her every step, curious, impressed, suspicious, while whispers floated around like drifting smoke, "She's dangerous, she's trained, maybe she's some kind of professional," but Maya kept her steady walk, backpack slung loosely, face calm as always, unaware that Zara had spent the entire night plotting her comeback, fueled by bruised pride and the humiliation of losing her invisible crown in front of half the school. And as Maya reached her locker, she noticed something off, students leaning in, filming discreetly, the quiet hum of anticipation before Zara and her crew appeared dramatically from behind the trophy case, with Zara wearing a smirk sharp enough to cut glass and Linc cracking his knuckles like he had something to prove, and Crystal filming on her phone as if preparing to capture a victory. Zara strutted right up to Maya and said loudly enough for the crowd to hear, "You think you're special just because you did some little dodge yesterday? Let's see you try that again." And in a smooth motion she shoved Maya's locker door closed with her hand while leaning in too close, prompting a wave of oaths from the gathering crowd. But Maya simply stepped back and replied with an even, almost emotionless tone, "I don't want trouble." Just let me go to class, which only made Zara sneer harder as she ordered Linc, grab her, and he moved forward with a heavy step, but before he could touch her, Coach Ramirez appeared at the end of the hallway, calling out, "Linc! Zara! Enough!" And for a moment, the tension cracked as the coach approached, but Zara, blinded by her hunger to reclaim dominance, said boldly, "We're just talking, coach," while subtly signaling Linc to stand down. Coach eyed them suspiciously yet eventually walked off, leaving the warning hanging in the air like a storm cloud, and as soon as he disappeared around the corner, Zara grinned wickedly and whispered, "Meet us in the old gym after school if you're not a coward," before walking off triumphantly. Maya could have refused, could have reported them, could have walked home and ignored the challenge, but the truth was she was tired, not of the bullying itself, but of people like Zara believing cruelty equals strength, and so after classes dragged through the day, she made her way to the old gym, where the lights were dim, bleachers dusty, and the entire room filled with students eager to witness the confrontation like spectators at a coliseum. Zara stood in the center with Crystal filming and Linc acting like her personal bodyguard, and as Maya entered, the crowd parted, some whispering, "She shouldn't have come. Zara's going to crush her," while others murmured, "No way, did you see her moves yesterday?" And Maya walked slowly to the center, her calm presence strikingly opposite to Zara's fiery arrogance. Zara taunted, "Still quiet? Let's see how quiet you are after this," and without warning she lunged at Maya with a wild shove meant to knock her down, but Maya pivoted lightly, letting Zara stumble past her, and the crowd gasped. Zara, now embarrassed, swung again, sloppy, full of rage, and Maya sidestepped effortlessly, every movement controlled, soft, precise, making it clear she wasn't just avoiding the fight, she was choosing not to fight, honoring her training in her father's strict rule, never strike unless absolutely necessary, but Zara kept attacking, growing more frustrated each time her hands hit air instead of her target, until finally she tripped forward only to be caught by Maya, who steadied her and whispered, "Stop. Before you get hurt," a kindness Zara did not expect and did not know how to handle, but instead of backing down, she pulled away and shouted, "Linc, get her." And the tall boy charged like a bull, heavy and reckless, but Maya saw the mistake instantly, his center of gravity too high, feet uneven, momentum too strong, and in one smooth motion, she planted her stance, gripped his arm, and redirected him in a flawless, gentle takedown that sent him rolling onto the mat without injury yet with enough shock to freeze the entire room. Gasps echoed, phone shot up to record, Crystal's jaw dropped, and Zara's face drained of color as she whispered, "What? What are you?" And finally Maya spoke loudly enough for everyone to hear, "I'm the state karate champion. 3 years running. And I've tried very hard to avoid proving it," and the silence that followed cracked open with awe, murmurs, and the dawning realization that Maya wasn't just strong, she was disciplined, skilled, patient, the exact opposite of the bullies who only pretended to be powerful. Zara, trembling with humiliation, tried to storm off, but Maya called out one final thing, not spitefully but truthfully, "Strength isn't about hurting people. It's about protecting them. You could be powerful too, if you stopped using fear to feel important," leaving Zara frozen, eyes burning with the sting of truth she had never heard before. And as the students dispersed, some clapping, some whispering, some simply stunned, Maya walked out of the gym with the same quiet grace she entered with, unaware that by tomorrow morning, the school would view her not as the new girl, not as the mystery, but as the girl who stood strong without ever needing to hurt anyone, a rare kind of hero the school didn't know it needed. And as the scene fades to black, the narrator returns with a powerful message for viewers.